This is another update. It's we're still in Tamarac, settled in, sort of. Keep cleaning it. I put more racks together and stuff. Put stuff on. Okay, so probably we'll title this. I'll title it Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Palm Beach. That's such a good title, isn't it? And the thing is, okay, it's just a possibility, and it's, and maybe not just like kind of like that sort of situation, but maybe it wouldn't be that. Just kind of just thinking it like that. Why that would be the place? Because you look on the map. See, we're right on the we're on Tamarac, like right next to the Everglades, like way over, like just I don't know, like a block away or something not very much. And if there is a nuclear exchange or any kind of emergency thing, and then there's the highway right over there, and then highway, canal, Everglades, whatever. I think there's a canal. So they would just they'd run the stuff. All the highways would be like they'd put something on it. Over the canal, like exit ramps. It'd be like a crossroads, like that, military vehicles or whatever. So that's what you're seeing. It's like I call it State Department when you got all these places next to the highways and stuff. And right just a few blocks south is the Amazon distribution center, like that giant thing. And that's right on the highway. And that would go, God, they wouldn't even just use those exits. Like if it got going, they would just take that highway and just run extra roads right to it. Something like that. And the thing is, so we're right at the point where you cross the alligator alley. It is so damn cool. We're if you're going north, like we're right there. You come off Alligator Alley from like Naples and goes up to Cape Coral. So right there, and also after they did something like that, they'd just throw stuff out in the Everglades a little bit. They'd have some barge. They pull that down they'd have that shit already. Like for this, like they bring that down and run a truck out there right on top of all that sawgrass and like a barge, and it would just sit out there. They put some tent city stuff. But it's all, and the way this stuff is built here, like it's fucking made for it. And the way it's like kind of abandoned, like really, it's like fucking weird. It is, there's really weird stuff here. And this is at the crossroads, and then it's right where Chrome Ave just keeps going up to like Okeechobee. You can go north that way, and this is the place. Like you go like Okeechobee, then Clewiston, and then over to Fort Myers. It goes straight to Fort Myers when you go west. And so if you going that way, there's not other ways to go. You don't go otherwise. You don't go. It's all Everglades, and so I think like Palm Beach, they hit that. If they hit that, and you had fallout, no one would be going to Miami. You can't get there. If they're like gonna fuss about the fallout or something like that, it'd be like all that. And they could do all kinds of weird zones of like exclusion zones and whatever, and let Miami fester, take them all out on a barge and let them out. Take them out wherever they need to go, or fucking let it, or whatever the fuck. And you can see that then it makes sense what they do, like running weird shit. Like it's like Road Warrior, they just keep practice. Which I think they are. And it's not necessarily to do it, it's just like mutually assured destruction, but it won't be destruction. It's like they can negotiate or whatever. But Palm Beach and all that, that would like block everything coming down to Miami. The only other way to get to Miami is you got to go through the rest of the state. You kind of go through Clewiston to here, whether that's hot or not, and then that swamp that goes back and forth. So it could even be to get to Miami. They end up with you go through Fort Myers and maybe Fort Myers and cross on the swamp on Alligator Alley, and then maybe like Okeechobee cross, maybe not. And I do think they have the stuff. They have the infrastructure. The submarine tunnels, probably moderate, small submarine tunnels, or they're ready for it. That goes from across the peninsula. It goes from Charlotte and Punta Gorda. It's that river. It goes across, cuts around, goes right up to Kissimmee. Like south of Kissimmee, that lake. It's not named Lake Kissimmee. It should be, but it's like the main thing. Maybe like Kissimmee River flows into it or out of it or something. But it's that the railroad that I was at. That's the second to last stop. Last stop is there. Then it's like just south, and then it's that lake, whatever it is, lake something. And I bet you they have that. Oh, weird. And then that goes to Cape Canaveral. And that's what I think. And it makes sense, too. And all the fucking Boring Company and all the weird shit. The big dig overruns, all the shit. And that would be part of the thing. So, okay, so Nagasaki, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That movie, there's that I put on a Japanese movie. I didn't put it because it's going to break the flow, but there's the versions with subtitles, and he talks about, oh, he's in Hiroshima, like that, and they're talking. And it's so weird. He's going to hide in Hiroshima. So I think they knew, like, the Japanese, the upper thing's all in on it. And even as how it's going to go down. Maybe Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They would fucking know and they worked it. And the Japanese is that original thing. That's the original first, like where you get sort of third world, and then that's their fucking British intelligence proto-CIA thing. Like, 'cause it is the fucking Americans too. Like all the whalers and stuff from New Bedford, all the stuff. So they're in with the Japanese all the way back. And when those samurai, the last stand of samurai, one is 1880 or something like that, or 1860, 1880. When, and they had the emperor against them too. The emperor and the bourgeoisie against the last shoguns, samurai. And they lost, they got like literally slaughtered. They didn't bring a lot of guns or anything. They go down hero's death, but that's all set up. That's the samurai themselves. And those samurai clans, all that shit just fucking, it's not just bourgeoisie. It's like all that stuff. And they're in the thing. And then even the way they died so bad and so heroically, that's like they'd kind of do now, like Tiger Woods. Like, look, I'm going to go to be disgraced. So you can't be mad at us because there's something fucking going on, right? The last of samurai, right? Tiger Woods. Man, that guy, now you know, probably Bobby Fischer too. Damn, it's like he's got his thing. It's called club, and that's right. It's got the mechanical thing in it to just do it just right, or maybe even it tweaks your body a little bit. You know, so this is like that. How to go or not, and your muscles, and you probably train your muscles to do that too. Get real sensitive. That was probably some shit. Because now it's all this. And Trump's like, I'm the best golf player of all the billionaires. It's funny. Yeah, okay, so they had the Japanese. I used to watch Johnny Sacco and his flying robot. We used to all watch that in Ultraman. That's so funny. So they they would have been all in with the whalers and all that and stuff like that, all the way back, and worked out a thing. And that's what it is. Not like quite what it seems like. Not at all what it seems like. And then you have, and all those whalers, all those guys, like, oh yeah, Charles Grodin, right? Charles Gordon or which? God, you know, in the Taiping Rebellion in China. That's the American guy, right? Or was it British? They set up the Taiping Rebellion. And then later the Boxer Rebellion, with everyone doing Kung Fu. And that sounds like samurai stuff, and it's kind of weird, and setting up for fail, but getting all that strength, and having Kung Fu fucking in Hong Kong, and all this shit. It's always been probably like samurai and foreign intelligence. And guys training. And, you know, always part of a thing. You know, you look at that movie, the 47 Ronin, and you can kind of see how these guys could go into an office and just physically take everyone down. And they got that, even though, and they're all like, whether that's real or not, like it's like so tense and weird and formal. But it is basically, and it's been all the time, but it is basically just take everyone down, or you could, or you don't. And that's something the West maybe wouldn't have quite in a way. And the samurai could really teach them, or just have presence. And it's all theatrical too. Theatrical all the way. They used to, the samurai would get their, put on all this makeup and all their stuff and fix up their hair in case their head gets cut off for a trophy. You know, they work really hard at it, so so the enemy would get a really good trophy. It's like kind of funny. And so that's what I think. I think they had all that Japanese stuff. That would be doing all the China stuff. And all China always getting played. And when Japanese occupy, it's like they've always been doing that. The West working with the Japanese and good cop, bad cop, all the fucking thing. And Hiroshima and Nagasaki pretty much planned. And Nagasaki the double cross. Because they blow it up over, God, it's got the mountains thing to shield it, and they drop it in the wrong part of Nagasaki. That just blows up the industrial stuff, the Air Force. And so the other little thing is like in downtown Nagasaki, it's good. But see, they're familiar with it. It's like how I learned to stop worrying and love the bomb. Like I think you get that in Japan. And they even kind of admitted, like they used to say that, see, the Japanese did the plutonium spent fuel reprocessing. Jimmy Carter finally banned like reprocessing of spent fuel, right? Like sometimes, and so once they run it through, they send it to Japan. I think, right? And Japan handles all that stuff, and they got all the. But then they'd say that they take homeless guys way back then, and they have them go run in really quick and do something, and get them exposed. That might be that would be like the crazy like Cape Coral shit to make it look crazy though. And then the Fukushima, that's got to be on purpose because it's so bad. And that's another reason why I think it could be the bomb, because they did Chernobyl. I think they did. That's probably on purpose. Fukushima definitely. I think Chernobyl is too. And they got it. And it covers up the fast neutron reactor accidents they've had with that, like I said. But it's still that. Now, and the game is like, you gotta look like, it would probably line up to like two sides, two forces, two possibilities. They also want it to be, they run it so it's struggle like that. They already they pretend they have their capitalism competitions. They just fucking do that. They just fucking want to have the nuclear weapons competition. Doing weird shit with Ukraine and Iran. But what was I saying? was it? Yeah, so one of the things is all these damn computers and all these douchebags and stuff, right? And now you get that supercomputing, it's going to be all good. And if you do that computing, like if you are the computing thing, that means the guys doing it in the computers, and they're just like fucking fuck it, throw it open to the fucking machine, to your computer. It's a labor of love, or it's like, you know, the evil thing in the box, they don't care, or like, because they're fighting the other side or whatever the fuck, there's probably that whole tendency. And it, you know, like, just like a lot of movies are. And that's one thing you get real about some of your science fiction, that basic, I think that is the struggle. You know, and that's all lined up. They've been lining that stuff up since the 60s and way before. They knew. And I'm going to get to that. With the space shuttle and all that. Okay, so we got more garage. The thing is, okay, so you got all that, and then how do you fight it? Like, you know, because it's just going to be that thing that's an entity, but it's also just given over to the machine. Like, it's like a new thing where they just, I guess you've had that always in the past, like you have different bureaucracies and give it over to them, or the bourgeoisie comes up and then, you know, they tend to overthrow things. A new class, but this would be like a machine, a computer. So it'll be strong, and then it'll be this side, the bad side, it'll just be a tendency, or just like, then they'll just like fucking keep. It'll be the thing where they just throw it open. Now the thing to fight that, they would have been playing a way back, and that's the way to fight that. And maybe it's doable, and they would have worked the whole thing that way, and that's why you even get so much crazy stuff. That's why they're going cuckoo right now with all the censorship. But they're showing stuff going crazy. Tiger Woods and whatever the fuck else. Fucking Iran and Ukraine. So you could have people. Okay, so you could get in outer space and have understandable mechanical rockets, stuff like that. Once you get the technology up, and it's good. And they're like, man, it's rockets, I can't, it's so hard. And maybe it's not, like you have your fucking Volkswagen fucking shit around there, right? Once you get it up and running, yes, we can do it. And that's another reason why the space race, why they claim they're always having people, hey, we need a space shuttle, first teacher in space, and all people, because it's just so great, even though it's way the fuck cheaper to use computers. Probably you mechanize it way back. They keep putting more astronauts, because that's probably because they're doing what I'm saying. It's got to be. Like Robert Heinlein wrote this one thing that's so fucking great, like driving around with a jalopy, kind of like that. And it seems like it would be that, because like why the fuck wouldn't it be? Like you got to have the air, you got to have protection from the cosmic rays. All that shit's really bad, but it's got to be like once it's up and running, and you got certain technology, you can do it without a computer doing it. You got like materials and different stuff. And you don't have some little computer that's plotting. And you don't have to have your super fucking, even your cell phone computer, being a fucking douche. Or YouTube. You can just have like retro stuff. And one of the things is, you know, it's not just simple stuff, but you got your retro, but like you got your core thing, like these kind of like casts and cells, like in India and stuff, where they're like 20 or 30 years behind, but they make their own microchips and all that, and so you get that. And then, you know, and you get it so better, so you can run it on 80s microchips and whatever the fuck. And then for that, you have to trust that cast in something that's isolated, like in Nepal. And why they're so cuckoo, the royal family has to go underground for their fake Elliot Rodger thing or whatever incident. That didn't happen. I don't think it did. and all their fucking weird Maoist rebels and stuff. Oh man, they brought the girl in from Kathmandu to one of our meetings. The guy had to show her off. Damn. That goes to all the museums. It goes to the Science Museum and everything. Shit. God, yeah, they were running Windows 2000. Damn, what year was it? Yeah, 2011, 2014, 2012. Until they're still running Windows 2000 at the computer lab. And when they shut it off, they got this partition software, whatever. They can run individual hard drives on a computer. And when it restarts, they just, like, everything's wiped clean and they reinstall its original thing. When they turn it off, it all gets erased. It doesn't get to fucking spy on them and fuck with them. And they're running Windows 2000. It was fucking cool. All the way up then. Yeah, they had the body world stuff there. And it's just to show, it's just to troll it. Damn. Okay. Yeah. And so for like computers you need, like you get it, so it's like you 30 years behind, like old stuff. But you can go around outer space in a physical thing, whatever, and do this, that. Now as far as like getting industry going in outer space, you maybe need to always have that. But you could guard it, you could police over it. It's just like, and you keep clean from the fucking artificial intelligence in the real computers, even though that shit might be running some manufacturing different shit. And you can always just nuke it or whatever like that. And, in the Air Force, all that shit would have just studied how to fucking do that, how to stay on top. And it's like a classic thing, like the Romans, like their slaves were the tutors, and they all speak such a good language because they got all the servants to like talk to them just right and raise their kids and develop the language. That's from fucking slaves, and the slaves don't get up. They're just like this. The nerd, he just gets put in a headlock by the football guy. The football guy is always in charge, and there's probably a certain science to it. And if anyone knows it, these military guys, there is that, and you do that up through the fucking computer ages, which is what they're doing, or trying. On the side of the humans. And so when you need your computer stuff, it's like 20 or 30 years behind, but it's all made clean by those certain cells, and you have to trust them. And then you have same times where you can step back from them. Don't have to rely on them. And then maybe you could just, by brute force physical, like you could just always keep that thing, or keep that, like, definitely, everything could mutual assured destruction or whatever the fuck. Because they'd be in outer space, they dominate. You can't get up in outer space. Stuff that Elon Musk talked about when he putting little cell phone type stuff up there, and all the satellites, he's going to swamp it. And as soon as one starts hitting another, it's going to be a cascade and make a fucking debris field. And that's probably even like, they're talking about the shitheads. That's their thing they would do. In the real, like, the Air Force, whatever, Space Force, whatever the fuck, humans, they are trying to not have that. And because they got fucking humans in space, it's so fucking weird. And of all the shit, and it's not even like they're getting, it's inspiring. Because it's kind of weird. And I gotta go drag some humans around. And now it makes sense, because that is a pretty damn good computer with good judgment and different stuff, right? And certain kind of resistant to viruses, or at least that's the old thing, like their intelligence and loyalty. That's something they study from time immemorial. And so, and Japan will have its cells too, where it's like got its computer stuff. They make their own chips from scratch, everything. So it's clean. Like, and then they know, or they got this cell, like, many people like not even, well, you think they live in a fucking weird box or something, but it might be good, but like the Kennedy sister, like, yeah. So I think that's what it is. Then it fucking makes sense too. It probably was doable, and they would have been working on this all the way back. They would have like foreseen it, and that's their thing. So you have the big old space shuttle, and all the humans in space, and that's to to keep that going because that's what they're going to use instead of fucking computers. Because for that part, they can have humans. They don't have to trust the like whatever computer nerds in India or wherever the fuck they got these cells that they'll make their own computer chips and secure, and they know, like those guys would know, but you could still be arm's length from that. And then maybe you get up and running. It's like Harley Davidson up there, like fucking rockets. You could actually have like human mechanics and some kind of thing, and they're the top dog, and they can be like, look at this, is there any debris up here? What the fuck's coming up here? You can shoot it down, whatever the fuck. And they know all the different shit. Computer ain't gonna do shit. They prevent it from coming up and growing and making something. Something like that. And there's probably this whole idea about that. Like this whole tendency. And at the same time, they would have this stuff down here, like all the shitheads running around and all the stuff. And they keep it so that nuclear option is always on the table. And I think the only way you can do what I'm saying, to fight the machine, the computers, you do have to keep the nuclear option. Yeah, that's the only way. Because that is just, yeah. But that might just be like, they don't have to do it, though. But just, Palm Beach, yeah, it's kind of interesting. It would drop everything off. So just an idea, and it's kind of an interesting title. Okay, so Richard Astalis. I guess he will now. That's like applied behavioral analysis, right, for Boston. Oh, fuck. Man, that was major shit. So that goes to all of the other stuff. They were running around. They all go to the Templar. They know. See in my son's he has autism, so went to Boston Public School all these years. Man, they gave him autism and then put us there. It all goes, and then in our file, I went and got his files in Xerox, and someone had fucking taken some emails between some just fucking random school people and put it in there, a few pages, printed it out and put it in file, so it's in there. And you could think, oh, it's not a big deal, and they just want it for reference, and they use it, whatever the fuck. So it's in his like actual school file that then they're supposed to stay, like with the records on. And there's nothing really that bad. A little bitching, this, that, or something. But the only weird off thing that's like, is they say, one says, I was talking about like they're talking about me, like he wants the therapist to maybe go with his son to the temple. They said, they didn't say Hare Krishna temple or anything, they said the temple. Okay, so you'd either, and there's just no way. You either have to be, there's only two ways, like the more weird is like listening to us and how we refer to it or knowing, from spying, and so then they have that. And the other way is like, it is the fucking CIA. It's like fucking Joe and the fucking CIA, the whole fucking thing. Richard Astalis is in with it, man. Oh, shit. That's why they do that. And all those like fucking companies have privatized, and they go to Abu Dhabi and all the fuck up and down and all around on their boats and out to the fucking submarine. And what the fuck That's all like, and all running around the Fenway shit. Yeah. Have me go see the Rotenberg Center too. Damn. But that's, it's like, cause they call it that. And someone refers to it. Cause they used to, like when I went to the temple, like by 1980, late 88, so it's going to turn to 89. It's like December, November of 88. December. And then and you don't have everyone visiting. And all the hippies, and because Israel had the hippie thing all through the 80s, and probably so even just before that, they had some stuff in Boston, a little bit more mixing. And before that, it's like all kind of people come around. Everyone goes there. It goes around. And now they act like they never heard of the fucking thing. Man, Moshe went there once. He looked like a big fluffy dog, and someone had put water on him. Like he's like back in Poland or something. And like he's like, I'm fucking... Like a dog, you know, they look all small and stuff. It was weird, and somehow he went there just to be somehow he was just there, and it was weird. I always got, man, like, because I was there and he visited early on. But they used to all, man, so that's from that. And the fucking Jackson Man School's right next to the old temple, the original. And when they got my son eating meat, they did that on purpose. So they're not supposed to. Yeah, you can take him Burger King, give him some French fries or something like that. And they okay. And then they got him eating chicken. And they did that on purpose. They act like an accident. They don't know who it is. Wrong therapist. And that was on purpose. That was like fucking work. Not necessarily the people that he's with, but the substitute was like it was fucking worked. All the way. And that's all that shit. It is, man. Because that's the thing. They all got to go to the fucking Prince of Sultan of fucking whatever. With all this shit. Damn, man. And, what else? Like... Yeah. Man, John Bear. John Bear was cool. He asked me if I knew if I could help him get a job. It's weird. I thought he was joking. Like, see, I don't know how anything is. He needed another job. He had to come back. He was like Chevy Chase. Where the fuck was Chevy Chase at? I think he was like Actually, he was director of special education at in Boston Public Schools, and he left and he went down there, and he's like he was ombudsman for that. They made this weird thing. So you can come to him and talk to him, and he's supposed to like out of the weird way, you know, because ombudsman is special. I've heard of that stuff for Boston Public Schools. They said someone's like that, ombudsperson. Which is cool. They had actually an office like that. Like one office you can go to and say, I have a problem. And they're like, they work on it. And through the bureaucracy. Otherwise, they have to direct you. Go here, go there, and you can get the right thing. And I always work at it. So it's fine the other way. But this way, you have the problem and they're doing it. Or they make sure it gets done or it gets followed through. The others could be like, every other time, it's like, oh, it's not our thing. But when he came and started doing special ed, that was in Lake Menino. So he was reforming everything, and he was acting like an ombuds person. You could say something, he'd be like, "Go fix that thing," personally, and he'd just say that at a meeting. Like, seems like he'd be too busy, but we did that. He was down. It wasn't Chevy Chase. I mean, Chevy Chase. There's a place called Chevy Chase. He was up, but he was in New Jersey. He got up that train from New York to Boston. It was like a stop up or a couple stops up. It's way up in that hinterland, you know, that super place. I think it was up in there. Did that for a while. Then he came back, and he had to live in our neighborhood too, out in Dorchester, where everyone is. He said, "Yeah, I'd help him." You know, he said, "He's not having a thing right now. Help him." And it's weird. They'll get that. Yeah, I wasn't just joking. It wasn't just being played. It was like weird. So no, I don't really know. They would play him like they'd have him think I'm something more like I know something, or like it is like I am this thing, but it's like I don't fucking know it. Fuck, man. Yeah, so that's what it is with that's what it is with the spaceships and the space shuttle and all that, or whatever the fuck they got now. They're gonna have humans like that, certain mechanical stuff and driving it around, and because they'll just keep getting it better, trial and error. Like they use computers to work it to simulate, and like how do you build it? And then once you get your fucking perfect thing, and the materials are good, they don't fail. You can manufacture it. And you can see, obviously, there's no fucking computer in it fucking with you, right? Or it's like simple, like a calculator, and you can override it, or whatever the fuck. And, or you can have it like, fucking 1990s computer, 80s, your trusted cell or whatever. And then just keep that boxed in, too. And you can just see here, like on the highway, they got all this highway, you got Amazon distribution, you got the other shit. It's fucking weird, man. It gets annoying because we went to the Walmart. God, we went to Walmart. I guess you had to go up to Coral Springs for that. And then there's all the, they're being weird there on Sunday night. They kept like running their carts into me and doing all kinds of shit. The whole fucking thing. And then after a while, I'm like done. And then it's hard to think straight because they're all into me and shit. They're all doing this fucking thing. It's all their undercover shit. So, and my wife, then she walked away, and then she was busy because I had to go. I had to get two things. I wanted to get a couple of this thing and that thing. And they're getting me squirrely. It's hard to fucking think. So then I started talking to bitching to this guy, that guy, and then the whole thing breaking through. And then at the end, they had just fucking everyone back there. God, it's like the prison when they got the chick that got fired. Like, Trump's like the girl with the high heel leather boots or something. Like salivating over prisoners. You got this guy stacked up in the bunk beds or whatever. 5 stories high bunk beds. And she's in heaven. But it could be. It is that, man. And then they had, it's kind of fake. Yeah, and they'll keep it all like run the road warrior shit. And the whole Everglades, damn. That'd be funny. They take out like, damn, you stop those highways, be like, no, you can't come down through there. You gotta come through Clewiston, down up through, like Okeechobee on that little road, or, down, you gotta go down to Fort Myers, and then fucking Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and over to near Naples and across Alligator Alley. That'd be funny. Because we're like centrally located for all that. Yeah, so I'm convinced of it, the Japanese thing. And it goes way back. The Japanese are all in on it. Planning the whole fucking thing. World War One. Again, what the fuck is it with Japan and Italy, the allies in World War One, and then they have to switch sides for World War Two. It's kind of odd. And you have Hitler. God, now I look at that stuff. It just looks like Hollywood, fake. It's getting set up. They're actually kind of saying it on some of the internet too, some of the YouTube stuff. All the damn medical specimens. Yeah, they said. So yeah. Damn, okay, so yeah, because the samurai thing and then the Hare Krishna movement. I'm thinking about how much is it kind of fake or kind of crafted by the West? It would always be anyway. And there's supposed to be some, like, they work on it. Because, like, people have their religion and they have a modern. Yeah, it was very crafted. But it probably even goes back to, like, if anyone wants religion, it'd be all that. And, like, the world's beating past your door kind of would be. Why can't we have that? Let's have that. Let's have Vaishnavism. Let's have Hare Krishna. Religion. Like, why would we do this other stuff? Right? God. It is. Just don't talk. You can't talk to anyone. It's all lies and shit. I wonder if I'm the only one. It's all fake. God, man. God, it's so jammed up here. Everything. They got all these churches, like, all jammed up going to church. And it's fucking fake. It's all fake and douchey. And, I think, during the day, on Sunday, we try to go to Costco. But it's like in that parking lot, it's like, oh shit, it's all crowded. I think Sunday afternoon, I think people they go to these churches and the other shit. It's a big day, they just swamp everything. Maybe they do it here more. I think they go troll the churches. Oh God, Goodwill Outlet store, for some reason was open. God, I didn't even go in that thing. And they had perfect parking spots just open for us to go park on the corner and I could see everything. My wife went in there, came back out, told her, like, fucking tell me what the price is. And it's fucking, she goes in, she was like, I said, so what? You did get it. She said, it says they sell it by the pound. Like, so what amount per pound? She didn't find out. But that'll be a rip-off. It's all shit. But people are coming out with their bags of stuff, and it's all God. That was like, man, it's fake. And she said when you go in, there's a toilet for, like, right in one of the bins, too. And it's got stains on it. Like, they're just fucking around. And the other fucking Goodwill we went to doesn't, it's like they're shit. They don't have, like, the $2 sale. Stuff goes to half price. And it's like, fuck it. I'm not going to that. Probably. I haven't really gone anywhere. So I finally just go somewhere that's at Walmart. I guess that was last night. It's sort of Monday night, Tuesday morning, you know. Tuesday morning, it's like Tuesday morning, 4 a.m. or some shit right now. And, yeah, so it'd be, everyone's bumping into me. And then it's like crash and stuff. Like, I'm thinking, okay, maybe not. And then this guy comes around the corner, and like all the boxes drop off his thing. It's like, yeah, okay. Then we go up to the checkout counter, and the guy in a wheelchair thing has to crash and knock stuff down. Like, they're making a joke out of it. And they were kind of cool there. Even though it kind of, I tell them it's like there's a lot of baggage. Like, I talk to them and to break through. And they do have a little bit of that weird training, a little cop training, a little bit of invasive things. See, all these guys will think they run Their sheriff mafia and stuff all over Florida. That'll be their cover. Like, what do they think when they're running around? They think it's that. They'll think, yeah, people think it's CIA, yeah. Because you get it over a phone app. It's like, go to buy in a car. It's like, go stare at these people or that. And it's like even a computer says, or whatever the fuck douche. And so the people you got people going flipping their mind thinking it's CIA is everywhere after them. And the guys that are actually doing it will think it's some other shit. Like it's just their stupid sheriff mafia with their fucking computer app and all their douche. It might be. Or whatever they get. Because I don't really talk to anyone. You get what I'm saying. Except, one thing. Find out. And we're in Broward County. I hope I go to a doctor or something. Because I'm all fucked up. I'm completely fucked up and sick. We'll see. Because, my wife is a little bit programmed because she grew up here, like in Miami, or like different places. She was in Spain too. The first time I went to Spain, I got to Cuba. But they kind of work it. She was right on the CIA track, right through the colleges and Hare Krishna movement in Gainesville, and right to the Penn State with Valerie Plame. And that's like maximized, like fucking super CIA, and then later, they're fucking it's Aldrich James, they're going to throw him under the bus. Valerie Plame, she's in on it. She's volunteered to get outed. Of course, but they're probably running it kind of. It's that shit, manipulative. As they're going to break it. Set it up and knock it down. And so my wife was always getting worked. So you get fuck, man. Man, yeah, it is, man. Well, I told you. Man, no one says it. So what do we get? We got the puberty blocker thing. And, fucking... Yeah, my uncle caused the lightning. That's a hell struggle, right? For the submarine communications, that goes back. And shit, so the thing is that it always be the Holocaust, so these guys do the Holocaust, but not like they know. And the ones that really know, you think, who did it? As far as the West, and as far as the British and the fucking New Bedford elite, like the fucking Lizzie Borden, like that whole fucking thing, 'cause that is the shit. Harvard. And Harvard's like setting themselves up all through the 30s. You look up Harvard, look up Hitler or Nazis, Google search for the Crimson, Harvard Crimson. I remember that one article is a lie, like 2 paragraphs, like Albert Speer. They're lying. They're doing like an Onion article. But even that, because it really is that. So they let that stay in the result. But they have some connection. And you can go Wikipedia. Other ways you follow it, it's like, holy shit, there's whole loads of, they don't say all the Harvard guys. Yeah, Harvard guys, fucking, that's all Munich is Harvard. Harvard, Munich, fucking, God, I was off on one tangent, and it doesn't connect to the other ones. But once you go that, it's like, oh, more. Oh, Hitler's made this guy, other guy that you never even fucking heard of, and it's Harvard. The guy goes to Harvard. It's fucking crazy. And it's it looks like to me they're doing it on purpose, exposing themselves, setting it up. And they had all the Jews in Harvard, and then they have they're anti-Jew. They fucking say they kick them out, and they have just about no Jews by the time it's 1934. Before that it was up to 25%, 20% or something, and they had to be racist. The guy, and that's another thing. He's that president of Harvard, he's taking the fall. He's like always, they're supposed to be tagged like that, and it's like the part of their thing. And just like some people go and take a fall, take one for the team, like their Harvard fraternity or whatever, you know, he's taking it, being the anti-Semite for all history, before the Holocaust. Because I think they're setting that up. All the stuff you see is what they want you to see. And they get it so there's no Jews enrolled, just about none, in 1934. Then it starts creeping back up again, and it gets to a high rate. Now they say it's like down again, like there's almost none. It's like way down. It's a little iffy. That'd be like something. But the real thing is the upper East Side, the original German. It's like German Jews is probably not separate. It's probably not like, oh man, you're Jewish or you're German. Oh yeah, you got to think of that. Yeah, you kind of forget. No, it doesn't even matter. You know, before World War II, and they're setting that up, and God, Margaret Sanger talks about Japan too. It's overpopulated, and they can't feed their people. They're getting to have an issue before World War II. Wait a minute. Yeah, I think it was. Or maybe. No, maybe that's after. Yeah, but it'd be like, and people won't know, like, it was like, because like now it's like, they just have all those lessons. You wouldn't think there's something you have to pay attention to that, or police that, or anything. And only the guys that are all the way dirty would know. And then you have the complicated thing with the Zionists. Like, if they're right, you have to get out and then be going along with it and whatever, or getting tagged with it. And like, shit. Yeah. And President Kennedy didn't die. That's pretty good, right? They kind of won't do that one, right? Like, you'd always be barking up a tree. You don't get ever a clue of it. Until it came to me, and it's like, oh shit. It all fucking fits. But it's so fucking extreme. And it's all betrayal, but then it's not like, for a certain guys, it's not betrayal. Secret Service is all good and solid. Secret Service is like flawless, right? You know, presidents get like that. Who was the guy who died in 1850? He got poisoned, probably. The other guy, it was like, oh god, it's like, he ate some poison, he ate bad berries, all that stuff. And Lincoln's son, his oldest son, died that way too, or his middle son. And his other one goes to fucking douche, like, yeah, it's a young one. That was the young one that was going to be smart. They died. The other goes to Harvard, and he's a dumbass. That's kind of weird, Lincoln sending his son to Harvard. At the end of the war, like toward the end of the Civil War, like 64 or something like that, when they had their boating, their yacht thing, the Yale versus Harvard boat race fucking shit, was not a single one of them had gone to the Civil War. All the motherfuckers are up there in the fucking college and don't do shit. That's an interesting That's an interesting piece of info. Yeah, because it is, man. And Seward, was it Seward? Seward got sick then too, man. They're like, when what's his fuck died from berries, like eating too much fucking, he ate too many strawberries when he got home or something like that. He got something with a cholera or whatever type shit. And Seward was sick too that week, just like Seward. Didn't he get? It's not standing right. Isn't it Seward that got attacked? Yeah, not standing. I think it's Seward, like during the Lincoln assassination. They had to go fucking hack people. Like, that's kind of weird, right? It has to be him. They're even making it, I think. Shit. So, yeah. Damn. Fuck. Damn, man. Okay, so one thing I was talking to my wife. There's I was thinking last night when I was laying in bed. I was thinking about something, and I can't remember what the example is, but something my dad said or something, and I always remembered it. It was like an idiosyncrasy, not something you could ever show, and it just gives me a certain agitation, and nothing I would ever talk about because it's too weird. Like if you had a shoelace, like if you had an issue, like a shoelace has to be even. Maybe it would because it's funny, but it's a little more difficult to explain. You wouldn't, and not because it's embarrassing. Is weird, something like that. And if you have a weird issue, a kind of thing, they'll take people like that and say they have Asperger's too. I think, and if you have certain kind of things and you see idiosyncrasies, that you could. Like things like Asperger's, they can tag people with that, or they put it in autism spectrum now, and treat it or assess it, and have their fake category for it, for the and so they can deal with it or suppress it or fuck with it or work with it. Well, they can't just outright say like that person, could know something and they have to deal with them. But the thing is, like, I can't remember what it was. I would just remember stuff. Not something like, oh, then he's wrong. It's just a little odd. Now, if I didn't have good emotional intelligence and stuff, like I would know. I'd probably just drop these. But I do have good emotional intelligence and the whole fucking thing. And I know that, so I hold on to these things, even though I get slandered and told. Like that. One of the things I was in Fenway, that bitch was, the one doctor there was CIA, fucking one. She was my general practitioner for a bit. And she was bitching at the dude. Man, my, last I had the psychiatrist where I get my prescription from. I guess he's the last guy, right? Yeah. And then when I came down to Florida, it's still, and she fucked with him and stuff. We got the email. She's like, she had to like block his fucking prescription. He put a prescription for Florida because you're supposed to get it when you move. You can still do it. And she freaks. She thinks she thinks she's gonna get jammed up. She thinks they're gonna get their fucking Boston shit jammed up down in Florida, Cape Coral. It's what it is. And she thinks that guy's doing it too. I think I really got him because he's like cool and yeah, he's a black guy too. I kind of get the feeling there's some weird thing. But it was her. She's like, they're dirty, man. At Fenway. It was Fenway Community Health, and that's the fucking weirdest thing. All the trainings and all the shit, I ended up there. Oh, shit. Because we did live in Fenway. If I had lived in Fenway before, so I'd just go there. It's like, fuck it. Go there later. It's actually kind of cool. They used to be cool, and they got weird. They got fucking weird, man. And they had to, like, block up all the shit. They had to take down all this shit. Yeah, dude. No, it's so funny, man, because that is some genocidal shit. That's the fucking Beth Israel and the bad. That's the shit. That's a bad CIA. And she's a thing. Whichever fucking doctor that is. to fucking look that up sometime. That's so funny. I know she is. She's so nice. I talked to her on the phone. She's nice. Just like my aunt. Just like my aunt. Aunt Carolyn. Damn. Now, yeah, and so, like, that guy that made me go take get a psychoval, he said you gotta do that in order to get Adderall and to be there. I've been there for years. They don't fucking do that. But it's like they're telling him to do that. And so I finally go to Beth Israel, which is what they're connected to. I could have gone something. Now, for some reason I went there, and then they're all like lying. They're fake. And the dude, you got the main doctor, and then the other guy, that intern, what do you call it? Resident. He didn't sign it at the end. Because I didn't call him and say, hey, I want the results. You're supposed to like be done and like say, hey, I want some results. And then they're going to work at it last minute. Otherwise, they don't do it. So the guy had already left. And so the fucking thing comes out. Like him doing all evaluations, it's not signed. It's fucking retarded. But they say some shit. He says, and I told him all this shit. I'm just answering, like, there's no instruction. I'm just fucking putting it on there. And just, I'll do some shit really bad. I'm going to, like, and I told him if it's any, I'm going to do what the instruction is, but there's no instruction. And there's no written instruction. He just starts describing something. And then it's about, one of the evaluations he says, he distrusts the evaluators. Yeah, and then, the doctor was cool. He goes to nut houses too. Big time. What the fuck is that shit? Is that my fucking phone doing something better? I fucking have low battery. I have to deal with this shit. So I plugged it in, man. I've not been dealing with anything. He's like, he just has a hard time figuring out what the evaluators want him to do, what the evaluator wants him to do. And I told him, no. And I would explain it. Whatever you want, I'm going to do. I'm going to fuck you. I'm going to do opposite. Unless you describe, you have to actually describe. Do this. And if it's a vagary, I will do what you don't want. And I told him I will do schizotypal personality disorder. I'm going to malinger for that and do all around. Because if it's like fake ass questions, I'm going to fucking do that. Like if it's Minnesota multiplies personality inventory type stuff. But they had the eye test, the fake ass shit. And it was like all bullshit. Fucking Borat's cousin. It's supposed to be Sacha Van Cohen something, but he's like the fucking cousin. And it's fucking lies and fake, man. But they had to get that, and they had to get it. So like they say I'm crazy. On a certain level, maybe. And there's a certain thing. Same as they did with the court here. There's a certain agitation in a certain thing. And it's funny because they got the true shit too. You know, they got the whole lying and categorizing and lying and falsifying, where they do frame up lie in order to do something and say they can do it. But they got that thing to try to figure you out, which you don't see. Well, I don't fucking talk about it, but I know they run that shit. Like as soon as it was Cape Coral, I got around that, I could tell. Now, so my dad said idiosyncrasies. I was thinking, I would never talk about it because it wouldn't come up. It'd be like, oh, I feel uncomfortable when there's one shoelace longer than the other. Then that's something you talk about, so it's not the right example because it's also funny. Or sidewalk crack, step on a crack, break your mother's back. So, a period in the second grade. Or I'd have to avoid the crack, and then other times I'd have to actually step on it. Do it. And then I'd have to walk and think, like, not break my stride, but then is it going to be on a crack or not, and whatever, like that. And I think that goes with mathematics, too, though. That's like a fucking... Because I was doing mathematics. And it gets like, that's part of that same thing, skills. But where things are a little weird, like it's not even enough to be weird. And it's a bunch of stuff like that. And to actually find out that I'm any good with anything. Oh, wait, Dad said a little weird. It's like a little awkward. Not even enough to say it. I'm not even describing it right. But it's just always there with me. And always I remember it. It's like the first time I ever learned, if you learn how to hold your fork properly or something at the dinner table, like when I was a kid, maybe I'd remember that time when I was told. All through my childhood, I remember that incident. There's certain things I remember. It'll be idiosyncrasy, or it's like making me feel as though it is. And if you to actually find out, am I any good, but to even know, you'd have to know the case histories, like people, and test them, because it's not just going to come out, and it's not going to. You're not going to get any regular testing, even maybe. And you just have to know, and the thing is that it'll get to the level where it won't just be the case histories, the guys that look at it versus the subject, like that's actually the case history. That to get to this stuff, it might be people's personal testimony. And they talk, and they're intuitive, and they say, yes, and I was like this. That there is such a thing. Like a lot of it will be case history by self-reported, because these guys will have been good at certain things, like figured out stuff, or they're in the thing. Because otherwise you don't find them. And also these little idiosyncrasies that just won't amount to anything, maybe too. But the thing is, the point I'm trying to get to is like that. I was always saving this stuff, and it wasn't able to make the real use of it until now, last year. And you guys like fucking live on fucking YouTube as I'm doing it. And pretty honest, pretty much. Just like slight embarrassment things to be not honest or whatever, But, it's like, they wouldn't know. It would go right through it, all the common CIA thing, and how most people are, and whatever. You wouldn't know of any case history of it, because it'd be this like really top thing, and it even probably come from, oh yeah, I was like that, or I did that, or oh, this guy was like that, and then that's not the one they're running stuff on. It's like the guy. That's where the thing is reporting. That even was thinking that way, because they wouldn't catch it, and it's very subtle, and so I think they wouldn't know. Yeah, but some top thing, someone that's really good might know, or have some. They think it might be, or have some hope, and I'd always get that on the street, like even in Boston a little bit, especially early on. Then it kind of goes away. People age out, and it's like whatever the hell. Until I fucking meet Lucas, actually. It is, isn't it? I was like making a joke. He wants to be. Is he on this side? No, but he wants to be. He wishes he was. Right? Damn. Someone was saying it from Lawrence. Yeah, so Massachusetts. Yeah, man. I got so I was at my preschool, Montessori school. And they did all this testing, IQ test, and then it'd be like people I could hang out with or something like that. It wouldn't be like, I'm trying to think. And I would get dissed, like all the motherfuckers. Like Reggie would diss me, hanging out with all the kids at new school. My mom got him his job. He was with the CETA program. She ran the CETA program for Southern Illinois after Carter got in. And And he would just, he's supposed to be a janitor, but he'd do all the work with kids and stuff. And that's even on purpose. It's all fucking on purpose. And all when he had to stop, too. But he gave me a cold shoulder. He didn't know it. And he dissed me, and like, he had the kids, like, fucking, like, I'm crap. And I was like, oh, do not tell him anything. That's weird, man. God, we actually had... So I wonder if my mom... Yeah. Hey, I actually have this Diane CIA lady come personally do our family. Damn. God, I wonder if there's anything more. Yeah, my mom did say she thought her natural father was Royal Air Force and he got shot down over France. See, she had said that. It was weird. It was like a British. I don't think she just said shot down France. He was like British. There's some kind of weird thing, some problem. That's even why. God, it probably was it, too. As part of their deal, yeah, if we need blonde or blue eye to do it. Do the thing. Shit. Now I'm stuck up. I was saying, all the Jews around here. Like they run around like it's Shabbos. They're up and down the street, running around, obvious, self-evident. And then I'm like, oh man, now I know, like, I'm not just like a Jew. Like, I know I'm the Jew, right? I'm like, and I'm like, and so stuck up. That's what happened. That's what happened. God, man. Yeah, they did that shit. They were fucking with everyone. They were fucking with Moshe. God, it's like, I have to be. God, they set up all the hippie stuff, all the hippie Israel. And you get to have your hippie time, man. It's like fucking fuck up the Holocaust conference in 1982. Like have it like a fucking do the Beirut invasion or Lebanon invasion a couple weeks before, start all that. Then fucking crash the whole fucking thing. Elie Wiesel pulls out. And wreck everything and have hippies and Israel's supposed to be that instead of, and the institution's gotta be shit, Elie Wiesel shit. And so you don't have everyone getting like nicely interrogated, like all their Moshe spoke Yiddish too. See, okay, so I was the last one in some ways. I was like over in Brighton. And they spoke Yiddish down at the thing. I go get the Holocaust. There was no one left. I go to that one place. Over near the fire stations across the street. It's on the other side. Man, they used to be all a Jewish neighborhood, and they kind of fucking, they had stopped, but there's the guys like those guys. I heard they spoke Yiddish. It wasn't a thing as much. By the time when I went there in 1988, they had the Zen Sword Center, which is kind of funny. That was cool. Yeah, they just, God, man. That's what they did. And Tiger Woods, he like looks like a lost deer, doesn't he? That one picture I saw in the Daily Mail. That'd be so cool if he's like, they didn't see him driving, right? Like, what if someone else is driving? That'd be so cool, like, he didn't see anything, and then it comes out later. That'd be the best. Like, someone else is driving. But it's his girl, it's like another girl. He's he's not allowed. He's supposed to be married. He can't do that. And it's like something like that, right?